Look at the way you move through the world right now. Look at your daily routines, your relationships, and the conversations you have. Ask yourself a very honest question. Are you truly the master of your own destiny? Or are you just reacting to the people around you? Most men spend their entire lives under a grand illusion. They wake up, they look in the mirror, and they tell themselves that they are in control. They believe they are the kings of their own domain. But the reality is far more dangerous and far more humiliating. The truth is that you are likely being managed, manipulated, and systematically drained of your potential by people you consider friends, colleagues, or even loved ones. You are operating at a tiny fraction of your true capacity. There is an absolute powerhouse of a man locked inside you, a version of you that is completely untouchable, exceptionally powerful, and quietly dominant. But right now, that version is buried under layers of social conditioning, people-pleasing habits, and emotional weakness. You have allowed the toxic individuals in your life to dictate your worth and consume your energy. It is time to wake up from this sleep. It is time to realize that you are currently nowhere near the kind of man you can be. You are playing a small game while possessing the internal map to build an empire. You have a fire inside you that has been systematically dampened by predators who recognized your strength before you did. To unlock the supreme level of mental execution that belongs to you by right, you must first understand the exact nature of the forces operating against you. Psychologists look at the darkest corners of human behavior and categorize the most dangerous personalities into what they call the Dark Triad. This is a specific combination of three highly destructive psychological traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. When these three traits overlap in a person, they become an apex predator of human relationships. The most terrifying part about these individuals is that they do not wear warnings on their faces. They do not look like villains from a movie. They are the charming coworker who always takes credit for your ideas. They are the friend who always turns every conversation back to themselves. They are the partner who slowly isolates you from everyone who actually cares about you. They blend into everyday society flawlessly. Their entire existence is built around a single unspoken goal: to use your energy, your talent, and your kindness to build their own monument of control. They look at your empathy and see an entry point. They look at your desire to be a good person and see a vulnerability to exploit. Today, we are going to break down the ultimate stoic framework that will allow you to completely spot these predators, effortlessly survive their psychological warfare, and ultimately dominate them from a position of absolute mental superiority. By the time you finish digesting this blueprint, you will never look at a human interaction the same way again. You will hold an internal power that no master manipulator can ever touch, alter, or diminish. Let us begin with step 1, which is spotting them with flawless precision. You cannot defeat an adversary that you cannot clearly identify. The Dark Triad thrives exclusively in the fog of your own confusion and self-doubt. They want you to believe that their behavior is normal or worse, that you are the one who is overreacting. To shatter this illusion, you must understand the individual pillars of this dark psychological structure. The first pillar is narcissism. A narcissist is not just someone who takes too many pictures of themselves. True clinical narcissism is a deep, agonizing obsession with self-importance and a complete lack of genuine empathy. The narcissist believes they are inherently superior to everyone around them. They require constant, unending validation and worship from their environment. If you do not feed their ego, if you do not constantly remind them of how incredible they are, they view it as an act of war. They will punish you with cold silence, hidden insults, or sudden outbursts of anger. They view you not as a human being with your own independent thoughts and feelings, but as an extension of their own ego. Your only purpose in their mind is to reflect their greatness back at them. The second pillar is Machiavellianism, which is named after the historical political strategist Niccolo Machiavelli. This trait represents pure, calculated manipulation. A Machiavellian individual does not care about morality, truth, or loyalty. They view life as a giant, continuous game of chess where everyone else is merely a pawn to be moved or sacrificed. They are exceptionally patient and highly strategic. They will smile at your face, buy you gifts, and defend you in public, all while quietly setting up the trap that will destroy your reputation behind closed doors. They do not act out of raw anger or passion. Every single word that leaves their mouth, every favor they offer you, and every secret they share with you is a calculated move designed to gain an advantage. To a Machiavellian, human emotions are simply buttons to be pressed to achieve a specific outcome. You are a tool to be used, and the moment you are no longer useful to their grand strategy, they will discard you without a single second of hesitation. The third and most dangerous pillar is psychopathy. This is characterized by a complete and total absence of a conscience. A psychopath possesses zero emotional empathy. They are entirely incapable of feeling guilt, remorse, or shame for the harm they cause to others. They can look you directly in the eyes, tell you a lie that ruins your career or your family, and their heart rate will not even increase by a single beat. They are often incredibly charming, highly articulate, and exceptionally good at mimicking human emotions. They have spent their entire lives studying how normal people react, so they can copy those reactions to blend in. They know exactly when to cry, when to laugh, and when to show concern, but inside, they feel absolutely nothing. They are driven by a cold, predatory curiosity and a desire for absolute control. When you combine these three traits into a single person, you get a psychological nightmare. To understand how this looks in the real world, let us look closely at a situation involving a woman named Alicia. Alicia was a brilliant, hard-working professional who entered a new corporate department with massive ambition. She possessed a rare talent for organization and a deep drive to succeed. Soon after joining, she was approached by a senior colleague who seemed to be the ultimate mentor. This colleague was incredibly charming, praised Alicia for her intellect, and slowly convinced Alicia to share her long-term strategies and creative concepts under the guise of collaboration. Alicia felt valued, validated, and powerful. But slowly, the dynamic began to shift in a subtle, terrifying way. This colleague started presenting Alicia's strategies to the executive board as his own, while subtly dropping hints in private meetings that Alicia was struggling with the pressure of the role. When Alicia noticed her projects being reassigned and tried to address the issue, the colleague changed entirely. He smiled warmly and told her she was being paranoid. He suggested that her memory was failing due to stress. He twisted reality so masterfully that Alicia began to doubt her own sanity, her own notes, and her own eyes. This is the exact manifestation of the Dark Triad working in unison. They make you feel weak so they can absorb your strength. Alicia was trapped because she reacted with intense emotion, anger, and desperation. By doing that, she gave the predator exactly what he wanted. She gave him the emotional data required to destroy her position completely. But you are going to learn a radically different path. You are going to learn the cold, unyielding way of the Stoic. This brings us to step 2, which is surviving their calculated attacks through absolute emotional insulation. The ancient Stoic philosophers discovered a cosmic truth thousands of years ago. You have no control over the chaotic actions of the outside world, nor do you have control over the malicious intentions of bad actors. You have control over exactly one thing, and that is your own mind, your own judgment, and your own internal response. The Dark Triad personality type does not actually possess inherent power. Their power is a parasite that requires your emotional reaction to survive. Your anger, your visible frustration, your defensive arguments, and your tears are the exact fuel they use to run their machinery of control. When they insult you subtly in front of your peers, they are performing a psychological test. They want to see your face flush. They want to hear your voice crack. They want to see you try to defend yourself desperately. The moment you react emotionally, you have handed them the remote control to your life. You have validated their status as the dominant force in the room. To survive them and render them completely harmless, you must build a wall of cold, solid iron around your emotional center. You must implement a strategy known in modern psychology as the grey rock method, but executed with the profound philosophical depth of Stoicism. You become as completely unresponsive, uninteresting, and emotionally flat as a common grey rock on the ground. When a Dark Triad individual approaches you with a manipulative comment, an understated insult, or a dramatic lie designed to cause panic, you give them absolutely nothing. You do not argue. You do not explain your position. You do not show a single flicker of anger in your eyes. You look at them with a calm, steady, neutral gaze. You respond with short, boring, factual sentences. If they tell you that everyone is talking about your recent failures, you simply say, "I see," or "That is interesting." When they realize that their most potent psychological weapons are bouncing off you like pebbles against a fortress wall, an incredible shift happens. They begin to experience internal panic. Their entire sense of superiority relies on their ability to move you. When you remain entirely unmovable, their reality shatters. You have effectively cut off their oxygen supply. You realize in that exact moment that your mind is absolute sacred ground. No toxic individual can enter it, disrupt it, or alter your internal peace without your explicit, conscious permission. And you are no longer giving out permissions. Now we transition to step 3, which is where you elevate from simple survival to absolute psychological dominance. True dominance over a dangerous, manipulative personality has nothing to do with shouting louder than them. It has nothing to do with engaging in petty revenge or trying to out-manipulate them at their own game. Seeking revenge is a declaration of weakness. It means that the person hurt you so deeply that they are still directing your actions from afar. True psychological dominance is showing a predator that they are completely and utterly irrelevant to your reality. It is an ego-heightening realization when you understand that you are the sole master of your own soul. A king sitting on an absolute throne of self-mastery, looking down at a frantic manipulator playing childish games. To achieve this level of dominance, you must master the ultimate tool of psychological warfare, which is the structured use of absolute silence. Most people are terrified of silence. When an uncomfortable pause occurs in a conversation, people rush to fill it with nervous laughter, explanations, or unnecessary apologies. A Dark Triad individual knows this and uses awkward pauses to make you uncomfortable. You must flip this dynamic completely. The next time a manipulator says something designed to undermine your confidence or force you into a corner, do not reply immediately. Stop talking completely. Maintain direct, steady, unblinking eye contact. Let the silence stretch out across the room until it becomes heavy, suffocating, and incredibly uncomfortable. Do not break your gaze, do not fidget, and do not change your facial expression. Let them drown in the vacuum of their own toxic words. Silence is the most intimidating weapon you can deploy because it reveals a complete absence of fear. It signals to the manipulator that their words have zero weight, zero impact, and zero value. As the seconds tick by in absolute silence, you will watch their mask begin to slip. They will start to squirm. They will try to laugh it off, or they will rapidly change the subject to escape the pressure. In that exact moment, they realize they have met an absolute wall of a man. They realize they are no longer dealing with a compliant victim, but with someone who has fully conquered his own psychology. Furthermore, you dominate them by anchoring every single interaction strictly to cold hard facts and observable actions. Dark Triad individuals are master storytellers. They love to create elaborate webs of emotional drama, false narratives, and confusing scenarios designed to make you lose your footing. They want to drag you down into a muddy swamp of rumors, feelings, and theoretical arguments. You dominate them by refusing to step into the swamp. You pull them out into the freezing light of objective reality. When they attempt to manipulate a situation, do not engage with their narrative. Ask them highly specific, direct, and unyielding questions. Force them to define their vague statements. If they say, "People are unhappy with your performance," respond calmly by asking, "Which specific people, on what date, and regarding which exact metric?" Do not raise your voice. Do not show irritation. Speak with the detached, clinical coldness of a scientist examining a strange, small insect under a microscope. By doing this, you completely dismantle their illusion of control. You shine a bright, inescapable light on their lies. These dark personalities cannot function under the direct light of objective truth. They thrive only in the fog, and when you clear the fog away, they are exposed as utterly powerless. Let us look deeper into the actual internal mechanics of the manipulator's mind. Why do they spend so much time and energy trying to tear you down? The answer will change your perspective forever. They behave this way because they are fundamentally hollow. Behind the grand mask of the narcissist, behind the complex strategies of the Machiavellian, and behind the cold exterior of the psychopath lies a vast, terrifying void. They have an absolute black hole in the center of their chest where a healthy self-esteem is supposed to live. They are completely incapable of generating their own internal peace, validation, or strength. Therefore, they must hunt for it in others. They look at your discipline, your talent, and your genuine nature, and they try to steal it because they cannot produce it themselves. When you fully understand this psychological truth, a massive shift occurs within your mind. They stop looking like terrifying, dangerous monsters that you need to fear. They start looking like weak, fragile children who are desperately begging for attention. This insight completely alters the power dynamic. You no longer walk into the room wondering how to defend yourself from them. You walk into the room as the absolute authority, analyzing their behavior with quiet amusement. You stand miles above them. To sustain this level of supreme psychological dominance every single day, you must practice the art of stoic detachment. Detachment does not mean that you become a robot who does not care about life, success, or adventure. True stoic detachment means that you refuse to tie your internal happiness, your self-worth, or your peace of mind to things that exist outside of your direct control. Your pride must come exclusively from your own discipline, your own execution, and your own moral character. Your happiness must be self-generated through your hard work and your absolute commitment to excellence. When your internal core is built entirely on things you control, the Dark Triad personality becomes completely obsolete. They can try to attack your reputation, they can spread rumors, and they can try to turn lesser minds against you. But they can never touch your character. They can never alter your internal standard of excellence. Your character is yours alone, locked away in an unbreakable vault of self-awareness. Think deeply about the incredible magnitude of what you can achieve when you begin to operate from this level of extreme focus and mental clarity. You become a machine of absolute progress. The obstacles that used to cause you anxiety and sleepless nights stop being problems entirely. They transform into excellent stepping stones for your personal evolution. The toxic individuals who used to drain your energy stop being roadblocks on your path to success. They become perfect, live-action practice dummies for your daily stoic conditioning. Every difficult personality you encounter is no longer a threat. It is a golden opportunity provided by the universe to practice your strategic silence, test your emotional control, and harden your psychological armor. You actually begin to feel a strange sense of gratitude toward these manipulators because their constant games are the exact weight you need to lift to build an unbreakable mind. They are making you bulletproof. Look at the immense power you are forging within yourself right now. Every single time you choose to hold your tongue instead of engaging in a pointless argument, you get stronger. Every single time you look at a manipulator's trap and choose to respond with cold silence, you grow taller. You are actively building an unbreakable human spirit. Most people spend their entire lives walking around like helpless puppets. They are pulled left by a minor insult, pulled right by a desire for approval, and constantly manipulated by the media, society, and the predators in their immediate circle. But you are actively cutting the strings. You are stepping fully into a supreme state of confidence that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. You will walk into any room, whether it is a high-stakes board meeting, a social gathering, or a difficult family confrontation, and you will know with absolute certainty that no one can manipulate your mind. You will look at the most dangerous people in your environment, and you will feel nothing but a calm, quiet, unshakable sense of superiority. You are finally realizing that you have the capacity to become an absolute force of nature. This transformation is not merely about dealing with a few toxic co-workers or surviving a bad relationship. This is about a total, radical restructuring of your entire life. When you master these stoic principles, you master your entire destiny. You stop wasting your precious time on useless social drama. You stop investing your emotional energy into the opinions of lesser minds who have never done the hard work of conquering themselves. You reclaim all of that stolen energy, all of that hidden focus, and you channel it directly into your own physical health, your financial freedom, and your creative vision. Your wealth will multiply, your health will peak, and your long-term success will skyrocket because the internal friction that used to hold you back has been permanently removed. You are actively waking up the sleeping giant inside your mind. This is the exact reality you are stepping into from this day forward. A reality where you are the absolute, unquestioned authority over your own life. You no longer ask society for respect. You do not beg the people around you to treat you fairly. You command respect naturally through your unwavering presence, your quiet confidence, and your total lack of emotional reactivity. The people in your immediate environment will notice this shift instantly. They will feel the sudden, heavy weight of your internal aura when you walk into a room. The manipulators, the gossipers, and the predators will slowly back away from you because their instincts will warn them that you are a trap they cannot handle. They will realize that trying to manipulate you will only result in their own exposure and humiliation. At the same time, high-value individuals, true leaders, and people of deep character will be naturally drawn to your energy because they recognize a man who has mastered himself. You are leaving the weak, reactive, people-pleasing version of yourself behind in the dust forever. You are stepping into the arena of life as an absolute giant. Do not allow this profound knowledge to sit passively in your mind. Knowledge without immediate daily application is completely worthless. You must begin to execute this strategy today. The very next time someone attempts to push your buttons, test your boundaries, or manipulate your perception, remember the iron fortress of the stoic mind. Remember the story of Alicia and how easily reality can be distorted if you allow yourself to react with raw emotion. Remember that your absolute silence is the most terrifying, intimidating weapon you possess in a psychological war. You are currently on a direct path to becoming truly dangerous in the best way possible. You are transforming into a man who cannot be moved by external chaos, a man who dictates his own success, and a man who owns his own mind completely. You are becoming entirely untouchable. If you are fully committed to continuing this journey of supreme self-mastery and absolute psychological dominance, you must ensure that you stay deeply connected to this channel. There are massive new layers of psychological armor that you still need to build. There is so much more internal power for you to unlock, and so many more strategies for you to master. This incredible transformation of your life has only just begun. Watch the very next video to continue leveling up your mental execution and hardening your character against the world. Never settle for being an ordinary, reactive individual. Stand tall, embrace the discipline, and become completely untouchable.